Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasulil Kareem. So we're discussing this masla here of if a person, this is what we discussed. If a person misses six and more salat, he got six or more qadhas in his life, then if he misses another salah, no problem, he can read his current salah, right? That's what we discussed thus far. If a person got five or lesser qadha namaz, then he has to read it five qadha namaz in order, and then he can read the current salah, right? And it's basically three conditions. This person who got five in this is called a sahib tartib, a female sahibat tartib. Very few people around like that we have today. But anyway, the masla, we have to discuss the masla. So if a person is sahib tartib or sahibat tartibi, right? So that means you got five or lesser qadha namaz. If you miss another namaz, you have to make qadha of that. Only when it's six or more, you got six or more, then you can. Yeah, sorry, if you got five or lesser, sorry, I just explained the last part wrong. If you got five or lesser qadha namaz, then your current namaz, you have to make your qadha namaz first. That means the sixth namaz you have to do it. But if you've got against your name already six or more, right, six or more, and we don't count witr as a separate namaz. So you got six, so you miss one whole day salah, and today you miss your fajr namaz. Now when you read your zohar namaz, you can read your zohar namaz without reading those qadha namaz. But if you want to read your fajr namaz and you missed yesterday's whole namaz, all yesterday's five namaz, then you first have to, if you remember you missed those salah, and it's time enough to read the previous salah, then you have to read those previous salah, then you will read today's salah. That is where we go so far, right? That's pretty simple. I think everybody understands it. Now, the next interesting masala we're going to discuss here is this. If you've got a batch of old masfalat and you got a new batch of masfalat, simple example. Say, for instance, you got five salat that you missed previously, couple of weeks ago, couple of months ago, and now again today you missed another five salat. So we say you got a hadithiyah al qadima. Fa'id means you must. Fawaid is plural. So you got fawaidun hadithiyatun and fawaidatun qadimatun. So simple example. You, for example, you missed a few salats maybe from your previous life, whatever. Let's say previous life, I mean before you change your life, right? And now you must another five salat, and jointly that makes more than six salat. Now we know for a fact when you got six or more qadha, you can read the current salah without making the qadha, right? That we know. That we know. But now this is same as that, but just a bit more detail. So you missed five salat now, and you got another five from previous life. Or previous, when I say previous, that's not your person one life, I mean from your ayame jahiliyyah, from your days of ignorance. So let's do the example. Let's do it by example. The best is to understand by example. Remember, when you're trying to understand your masail in your fiqh, always your point of departure is suratul masla. Understand what the scenario is. That's the first step. And if I ask you a question, I tell you, what is the surah of the masla here? First, you must explain me. You can't explain me the masla. You can't explain me the dalil. You can't explain me. Remember, when you even teach, inshallah, first thing the student must understand, what is the scenario? What is happening here? Right? And then once the scenario is clear, now you can understand the masla. Now once you understand the masla, now you can do the dalail. Now you can do the counter the dalail. So the first thing is understand what is the surah of masla. So I'll give you an example. Try to work out the surah of masla and put it in. You got five salah that you missed previously from last month, and today is Tuesday, né? And you got from Monday you got five salah, right? Yesterday you missed Fajr, Zohr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha, right? And this morning now you want to read your Fajr namaz. This morning you want to read your Fajr namaz, right? So now, if so there's enough time also to read all your qadha, and also you remember you got qadha. Is it necessary for you to make qadha of that's what you missed yesterday? Or if you apply the law strictly, you've got more than six qadha, you've got six and more, you've got six and more. Okay, so you can just let it slide and read what is the law. That's the scenario, right? So now follow. I told you first step, once you got the scenario right, it's easy. وَلَوْ اجْتَمَعَتِ الْفَوَائِدَةُ الْقَدِيمَةُ. If previously must qadim is old, must salat fawaid, jama faita, gather, wal hadithatu, and current, right? So we got the current five salah that you must current in the sense that yesterday, and then maybe a number from before. Any amount, alright, although I gave the number of five, but any amount that jointly is more than six, any amount that is six or more, doesn't matter. The same masla will apply, right? So قيل تجوز الوقتية مع تذكر الحديثة لكثرة الفوائد. So it is said that here you can read the current salah, so Fajr now on Tuesday morning, قيل يجوز الوقتية مع تذكر الحديثية وحديثة, even though you remember you got the masala. Why? لكثرة الفوائد, because there are six and more, and when you got in six and more, you are not sahib tartib. So that is the obvious scenario that's right, that you will be able to do with six and more. But وَقِيلَ لَا تَجُوزُ. But there's also one opinion that لَا تَجُوزُ. No, you will separate. You look at the five in isolation, you'll separate from the five. And here you only got five. So because you only got five, you have to make qadha of it, right? That's what he's saying. وَقِيلَ لَا تَجُوزُ. He say, يُجْعَلُ الْمَاضِي كَأَنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ زَجْرًا لَهُ عَنِ التَّعَاوُنِ. What he's saying is, from the Sibar, I told you sometimes you don't understand the masla. I mean, the masla might not seem so relevant, but you learn something extra. Like from this masla, besides the masla, I learned something extra. What I learned extra is, why are you forced to make your qadha namaz if it's 6 and less, if it's 5 and less, not 6 and more? Why? It is as a deterrent not to make your salah qadha. That's till now we never come across it. Why? We know obviously Nabi Sallam said that you must obviously you must 5 and less, etc., etc. You must make the qadha first. But here, what is the reason? The reason is a deterrent. If you sahib tartib and you say, oh no, I don't like to read namaz now, you feel lazy, then you think in your mind, hey, but if I don't read namaz now, that means next namaz I'm gonna have to read it before. It's gonna be more difficult. So you read it now. You understand what I'm saying? You understood? So when you got 5 and lesser, the reason why we force you to read it is to act as a deterrent from becoming lazy to read your salah. Right? Now, if you understood it, they're saying, look here. So I told you the original masala which we done thus far is this, that you don't separate whether they are, if you add them up, what you missed recently or what you missed in the past, if they jointly are 6 and more, you are not sahib tartib, you can read your current namaz. That was the first opinion. The second opinion say, no, separate it. Separate it. If what you must now recently, it is 5 and lesser, and then we'll say, no, you have to read it first. Why? So it can be a deterrent from you from missing your salah. So when you know, hey, if I got 5 and lesser, I have to read my salah. I don't, and I can't read my salah. So it will force you not to make your qadha salah, not make your current salah qadha. So here is saying, better give fatwa on the second fatwa, where you say separate it, so it can be a deterrent. It can be a deterrent from you missing your salah. You understood that? See there now. Waqila, some says, la tajuzu, right? It is said, la tajuzu, don't allow him to read his current namaz till he does not do the recent namaz. Why? وَيُجْعَلُ الْمَاضِي, that which he must, like before, long before, it will be made كَأَلَّمْ يَكُنْ. We'll just suppose that it is, he never must it. Although he has to still do it, I mean, we're not saying it becomes mal, but we'll just for the moment, we'll suppose that it's not there, right? Why? زَجْرًا لَهُ, as a deterrent, a strong deterrent for him, because if you say, oh, I already got 6 and more, so if I miss one now, what's the problem? I'll just make qadha again tomorrow all. So I missed my salah now, no problem. It's not a deterrent. But you say, no, what you missed recently, you have to make qadha for it first, then you make the current salah. You say, oh man, I'd rather read my salah now. Why should I miss? That means if tomorrow when I go Fajr time, morning time, I have to read all my qadha, let me rather not miss. So in separating it, it's a deterrent from him missing namaz currently. You understood that? Right. Then they say, so that is there. Now the next masala I will explain you, before we look at the text, I'll explain to you. See, we discussed this. When you got 6 or more qadha namaz, right? Then the 3 drops off, right? Now, look at the scenario. A person must several So salah. So you got more. You got 6 and more qadha namaz. He's got 6 and more. But he started making qadha. Whatever way, he's making 10 a day, or he's making 2 a day, or he's making one after every salah, but he made qadha salat, right? So mashallah, and now he knows more or less. I told you, you must work out exactly accurately how much you got. But if you can't do that, you must at least estimate how much you qadha. And you must retell in your mind, you feel, alhamdulillah, I think I've done all my qadha. Until this is when you don't know exactly. Right, so you must, until your heart feels satisfied. I think, alhamdulillah, with the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, now I've read all my salah, right? So now, this is a scenario. You had a lot of qadha namaz, right? And you started making your qadha. And you now came to lesser than 6. So it was more than 6, but you brought it down. So do you become a sahib at 13 again? Well, we say like how a person who must 5 and lesser now, he must make it 5 first before he read the current salah. So that's if you miss the 5. But this is now where you had several and you read and you brought this. Do you return to a sahib at 13 or not? That is the discussion we're going to look at today. See, read it, Bismillah.
ولو قضى بعض الفوائد حتى لم يستطيع إعادة ترتيبه عند البعض وهو الأمر فإنه روي من ترك صلاة يوم وليلة وجعل يقضي إلى العلي مع كل
Yeah. Right, interesting. See, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. ولو قضى بعض الفوائد. So this person, he started, mashallah, changed his life. She changed her life. She never used to wear niqab. Now she's wearing niqab, going for ta'lim, started making qadha salah. So she started making a qadha. ولو قضى بعض الفوائد حتى قل ما بقي. Until, this is the file, eh? Sorry, ما بقي is the file, right? ما بقي is the file. ما is موصولة is بقي. Until what remains is very few. And what is very few? We told you, when there's no taqrar. And when there's no taqrar, when there's 5 salat. So you can, if you want to, you can write there on top there, when it remains to 5 and lesser, right? It comes to 5 and lesser. Right. So, عادة ترتيب عند البعض. According to some ulama, you got 5 and lesser, you guys 5 at tartib. So now, you can't read the current salah until you finish. So when you come to that last 5, you have to read it one shot because you can't read 1, 1, 1, 1 because you're going to tie side with tartib. Are you with me? وهو الأظهر. And this is the preferred opinion. Now I told you, inshallah, if you do ifta, inshallah, you learn all these words. وهو الأظهر, وهو الأصح, وهو الصحيح, وهو الأصح. We show you which is the fatwa on that you do at a later stage. But this shows you now that it is 2 opinions. The fact that he's saying that you will become a sahib at tartib again is a preferred opinion, which shows you that according to some ulama, you do not become a sahib at tartib again. It means like how you say, once the door is open, you can't close. Once it's gone, once you open the lock, you can never come back. Same thing what he's saying here. That once you disqualify as a sahib at tartib, even if you brought it to 5 and less, you don't become a sahib at tartib again, right? Now, see here, فإنه روي عن محمد في من ترك صلاة يوم وليلة وجعل يقضي من الغني مع كل وقت فائتة فالفوائد جائزة على كل حال والوقتية فاس إن قدمها للدخول الفوائد في حد القلة وإن أخرها فكذلك إلى الإشاء الأخيرة لأنه لا فائدة عليه في ظنه حال أدائه. The next masla is a very interesting masla. It's a very complex masla. It needs some explanation. What is saying in the next ibarat, they're giving another totally different masla. But from that masla, you understand that when it comes lesser to 5 and lesser, the wujub of tartib comes back. I'll repeat that to you again. If you look at the next masla, it is totally different to this masla. It's got nothing to this masla. It's just a masla of that Imam Muhammad mentioned. That's a very interesting. It's those ones that pick your brains. It is those ones, like you say, trivia. It is those ones that pick your brains. I'll repeat again for you. If you look at the next masla, it is totally different from this masla. But from this masla, you understand that when your qadha became 5 and lesser, your tartib come back again. So he's mentioning the Masla of Imam Muhammad. So we have to first understand it, Masla. We first have to understand it, Masla. After we understand it, Masla, we're going to show you how that Masla proves that your tartib come back. See, this is the Masla. See, Man taraka salata yawmin wa laylatin. Right? وجعل يقضي من الغد مع كل وقتية فائتة. See, let's look at the first scenario. Look here, a person must five salah, right? What happened? Let's take it for example, today is Tuesday. A person must yesterday, Fajr, Zohar, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, right? Are you with me? And now, this morning, he started reading his Faraz Namaz. He started reading his Faraz with Jamaat, right? You have to keep all the usul in front of you. If any not clear, please tell me. So this morning, he started reading his Fajr. He's starting to read his Fajr Namaz, right? So what he done? See the first thing, Man taraka salata yawmi was right. وَجَعَلَ يَقْضِي مِنَ الْغَدِيَّ means the next day he began making qadha مَعَ كُلِّ وَقْتِيَةٍ فَائِدَةٍ with every salah is making one qadha namaz. So this morning what he done is, he said, oh, I missed my salah yesterday, right? Whole day salah. So now I'm going to make qadha. So he, right, so what he done is, من الغد مع كل وقتية فائدة. With Fajr today, I'm going to read my Fajr of today and I'm going to read the Fajr of yesterday. There's two scenarios. And one is he first reads the current Fajr and then he reads the Mas Fajr. Or one is he reads the Mas Fajr first and he reads the current Fajr. Now let's follow. See, فوائد جائزة على كل حال والوقتية فاسدة إن قدمها. Now see, if he decides, look here, I'm going to read now first my qadha namaz. So he reads 2 rakats qadha fajr. That's fine. The qadha is fine. No problem, right? And then he decides to read his fajr. Will his fajr be correct? Why won't his fajr be correct? Huh? He still says better tip. MashaAllah, very good answer. So he was required to read all 5 his qadha namaz, including his witr namaz, which is not a separate namaz. We say he's supposed to read his 5 qadha namaz, what is witr namaz, before he can read today's fajr. So both ways, look at it both ways. If he read the qadha namaz first, qadha is correct. And then he read the fajr is not correct. Why fajr is not correct? Because he's sahib tartib. He's got now, because he had 5 qadha namaz, I got 4 qadha namaz. In fact, he's more of a sahib tartib now. And he's reading his fajr without reading his 4 namaz. Are you with me? So his current namaz is not correct. The same thing will happen if he does that for Zohar. He reads his Zohar namaz, qadha is done. Current namaz is not done because now he's got, so now he's got 2 namaz on his head. Why? When he read the Zohar namaz, that means the fajr of today is qadha because it wasn't done. There was no tartib. So when he comes to Asr time, that means the fajr and the Zohar is wajib upon him, right? You understand what I'm saying? Because the current namaz are not done because he's time with tartib. Then when it came to Maghrib, right? Same thing he's got now. He's reading the qadha namaz, so he's got 3 qadhas off his head. But he got the 3 new qadhas. He's got 3. When it comes to Isha time, he read the Isha namaz, right? The qadha is done. The qadha is done, right? And then when he reads the Isha namaz, right? The current Isha namaz, how many qadha he got? He got 4 qadha namaz. He got 4 qadha namaz. So his assignment tartib is not done right. So that's a, now they say here, just I'm going to come back to it, I'll show you. Then they say, إن قدم right وكذلك إلى الإشاء right فكذلك وإن أخرها يعني just to get this right here first before I explain it to you right فالفوائد جائزة على كل حال والوقتية فاسدة والوقتية فاسدة إن قدمها right لدخول الفوائد في حد القلة right so this وإن أخر refer to what if he that's all the surah you refer to that you brought what first you brought the yeah in qaddamaha. So yeah, this so I explained to you to the whole scenario today. It's just far of where you brought the qadha first. You brought and yeah, now there's an opposite scenario, like an opposite scenario. If you read the waqtiyah first, say, let's look at the waqt. It's more or less the same. The same law will apply, but only for the isha it will be different. So look at the first. So that's why I explained to you. In all scenarios, first you read the qadha, then you read the ada, the waqtiyah. Let's look at the opposite scenario. First, what he done is he read the fajr namaz, right? Karat namaz, and then he made the qadha namaz. Same thing you say. Look here, you isai tartib, and he read his what? He read his Karat namaz. He's supposed to make the 4 qadha, so the Karat namaz is not done. Then Zohr time, but the qadha he made is valid because nothing stopping. So the qadha of the fajr is done. Then came Zohr again. He done the Karat namaz finish, right? And then he done the qadha namaz. So we say the Karat namaz is not right. Although he made the qadha namaz there, he's done his fajr namaz, qadha is done, but the Karat one became qadha, right? Now, the scenario where he brought the waqtiyah first, the isha namaz will be slightly different. When he reads his isha namaz and he reads the, what you call it, namaz, he reads the isha namaz, right? In his mind, he's thinking, I made qadha of all my namazes. I made the qadha of fajr, I made qadha of zohr, I made qadha of asr, I made qadha of isha, right? So in his mind, he's not a sahib tartib. He is not a sahib tartib. So because in his mind, he thinks he's not a sahib tartib. So let's see, let me just get this right. Yeah, sorry, I got this part wrong here. Wa in akhara means the waqtiyah. That makes more sense. So you brought you delayed the waqtiyah. Actually, I stood upside down. So now the first salah, what happened is, he first done is, he made the qadha namaz. So in his mind, he's thinking, I've made my 5 qadha namaz finish. I've done fajr qadha, I've done zohr qadha, I've done asr qadha, I've done maghrib qadha, and I've done my isha qadha now. So I'm not a sahib tartib. And now he's reading my isha namaz. So here in his mind, he's thinking he's not a sahib tartib. And remember, when you forget that you got qadha namaz, isn't your current namaz is correct? So here, he's thinking that he's not a sahib tartib because he made qadha will be equivalent to forgetting. So we say like how when a person forget, like how when a person forgot, he got qadha namaz, his current namaz will be correct. Here in this person's mind, he's thinking, look, I made my 5 qadha namazes. So I got no qadha namaz. So that's why, so in his mind, although it's not correct, because he does have new qadha namaz, he didn't know that, look here, this namaz I'm reading is not valid, this current namaz is not valid. So in his mind, he got no qadha namaz. So he's thinking that he's got no qadha. So in his mind, his isha was valid. So that thought of his is similar to what we say, a person who forgot, he got qadha namaz. So when he reads the qadha namaz first, and then I've explained the wrong way. When you read the qadha namaz first, and then you read the ada namaz, then the whole scenario is same. Only with regards to the isha namaz in the second, it will be valid. You with me? Understood? Look at the ibarat again. See there. فَالْفَوَائِدَةُ جَائِزَةٌ. So all the namaz, whichever way, whether you read it first or second, all that, because there's no condition if we be corrected, right? Ala kulli hal means whether you bring it first or second, right? وَالْوَقْتِيَةُ فَاسِدَةٌ إِنْ قَدَّمَهَا. But the waqtiyah will be fasid in qaddamaha if you brought the waqtiyah first, right? لِدُخُولِ الْفَوَائِتِ because because you still got few namaz and you are sahib tartib, are you with me? But وَإِنْ أَخَّرَهَا, if you delayed the waqtiyah, you made first the qadha and then you made the waqtiyah, then it will be the same. All will be not correct, but only the isha will be correct. Why the isha will be correct? Because in his mind, I've made my 5 qadha already. So I got no qadha, right? So that means my isha must be valid. But he didn't know that now all the whole day's namaz, each one became fasid. So he didn't know about it. So his ignorance here is similar to forgetting, a person forgetting. So we'll say the isha is valid. I said, you got it, you understood it. It makes sense to you, right? So فكذلك إلى الأشياء الأخيرة لأنه لا فائدة عليه في ظنه, because in his mind when he made the first qada, that is Isha, before Isha on the second day, in his mind there's no qada on him. In his mind there's no qada on him, and he's thinking, I'm in the clear, my qada is done. But yes, he is correct. All his qada was done, but he didn't realize because he was sahib al-tartib, the current namaz all became qada. So, like how when a person forget, you say the start in the person's mind, so based upon his dhan, his salah is valid. So same yes, based on his dhan, his salah is valid. You understood it? لأنه لا فائت عليه في ظنه حلالا, because when he read it waqtiya on the second night, the first salah, in his mind, he's in the clear. In his mind, he's in the clear, because he didn't know that each salah became qadha because he was sahib al-tartib. Does it make sense to you? You understood it? Sure, okay, but we stop there. Maybe this last part we can just go again one time tomorrow. It is a bit complex, but you